Let's talk about why so many South Asian professionals are hesitant to step into leadership roles. I speak with so many people every single day. These South Asian professionals are highly qualified, brilliant at what they do, extremely experienced, and have amazing depth and breadth of expertise, working in great companies. But when it comes to stepping into leadership positions, they just shrink. They start doubting themselves. They feel they are not ready yet. And as a result, these great people who are fully eligible to get to that next level hold themselves back. Now, I'm not talking about people who are, happy with what they are doing, and, they want to keep doing what they're doing. I'm talking about people who know that they have completed one chapter of their life and they had a great innings, and now they know that they are ready for that next role. However, they are being held back. So if that's you, then keep watching. If you are the former one, then move on. If you're happy with your career, enjoy your career, and yeah, just go about your life. Because here's the thing, I am a career advancement and executive coach. And let me say my name for those who do not know me. I am Dr. Mrinalini Garv. When my clients work with me, my goal is not to just help them advance their career and become great leaders, but I also help some of my clients to really find what they truly want to do in their lives. So there are some of my clients, one became an executive coach, one is on her way to become a health coach, another person is figuring out what else she wants to do, and she is on her way to again do executive coaching. So the most important thing about career is that you find something that makes you happy, because that's the most important thing. Because your life is not just your career, there's so much more to life. Okay, coming back to today's topic. So I'm going to burst some myths, because I can't even tell you. Like, I hear this so many times. Myth number one: well, I don't want to step into leadership roles because, as it is, I'm working endlessly, I'm putting in 70 to 80 hours a week. If I become a leader, I can't even imagine how busy my life will become. Well, first of all, if you're working 70 to 80 hours every week, there's something wrong that you're doing. You're probably taking on way more than you can handle, or you're telling yourself, yes, I can handle all. But if you're working 70 to 80 hours, you're actually undermining yourself, because leaders and bosses are going to think, if she's so brilliant, why does she or he, why do they have to work so hard? So I'm going to do another video on time management, energy management. Definitely watch that when it's there. If you haven't subscribed to my social media platforms, go ahead, do that. Just Google Unshackled Career Woman, and find all the LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. Just look up Unshackled Career Woman and you will find me there. So that's for another time. But let's talk about this myth about no work-life balance. So first of all, are you really managing your time correctly? Because that's the most important thing. As a leader, the more you take on the things that only you and only you can do is what is going to make you successful. Others, you delegate. The things that you cannot delegate, look at all of them and say, is this really important? Does it even need to be on my to-do list? Have conversations with your bosses, with your peers, and figure out a way where you are working on things that truly matter. The best way to figure out what are the things that you should work on is make a connection with your work and tie them to your metrics. If the work that you're doing does not directly connect to the company metrics, the most important metrics that the CEO really cares about, then you really want to question why you're doing what you're doing. And what are the metrics that any company generally looks for? There are five buckets. One is the bottom line, right? Profit. Even a not non-profit company needs to make money, right? To sustain. Otherwise, it won't last. The next thing is quality and safety. The third is operations or productivity. Fourth is customer satisfaction, and fifth is employee satisfaction. Those are the five big buckets. Right now each company will have a few more, but all the metrics that they look for, they fall into these five buckets. So if your work does not impact these metrics, you really want to go back and ask yourself why you're working on this. Have a conversation with your boss. Ask them, hey, I'm working on this. How does it actually impact the company metrics? Am I helping move the needle in the right direction? That conversation itself will put you ahead of others, because you are a leader asks about metrics. Managers and employees, they just focus on, oh, let me get my task done, let me get my job done. So when you start asking these hard questions, and then you ask yourself, out of these tasks that impact the metrics, what are some of the things that only I can do? You take those, you keep those on your to-do list. And others, you either scratch out if they're not important, or delegate. Now, this is not an easy process, just make a list and figure it out. You will have to, spend some time to really understand the impact of scratching out projects and all of that. And we really help our clients to look at their schedule correctly, create some standard leader work so that they are focusing on what it really matters. And we have helped our clients go from 70 to 80 hours to 35 to 40 hours and even less. But it is a myth that if you take on higher responsibility, you will have a worse work-life balance. Myth number two, a lot of people feel that, oh, I need an MBA. A lot of my clients work in the IT industry, and they feel like, oh, without an MBA, without a business degree, how can I become a leader? That also is a myth. You don't need to have an MBA. I know a lot of people who have MBAs and they are stuck in managerial roles. What is more important is to know how to leverage your existing experience and expertise and position yourself as a leader in the minds of senior leaders. As you learn that, then you will be seen as a leader. If you have an MBA but you don't know how to position yourself, that's not going to help. How do you do that? Again, when your work connects with the metrics, you have some ammunition, so to speak, but you have some, content, content for your conversation with your senior leaders. If you can help them see that connection, hey, because of this project, I was able to save, $20 million or generate $10 million every quarter for the company. The moment you have those conversations, leaders are gonna, perk up, and they're gonna say, tell me more about it. How did you do that? And then when the next opportunity shows up, they're gonna think about, oh yeah, I need to, choose Santosh for that. But if you're not having these conversations and not positioning yourself with the right people, then you will always be seen as an employee. And if you are aspiring to become a leader, then that's not the best place to be in. All right. The next thing is low self-esteem, low self-worth. So many South Asian professionals that I have spoken with, I have spoken over 600 people over the last few years. Every single one of them underestimates themselves. They bring so much to the table, but they don't see their own value. And guess what? If you don't see your own value, how do you expect others to see your value? If you don't recognize yourself, how it's unfair for you to expect your boss to recognize yourself. So, when we work with our clients, we really go to the root cause of, why do they have that low self-worth? And there's no surprise here, right? It's, the conditioning, the societal, the cultural conditioning that happens for South Asians is just, it basically beats them down and makes them feel like no matter what they have done is not enough. Whether it's grades, right? If you don't get good grades, you're not good enough. Whatever you're doing, if you're not, number one in that, you're not good enough, right? So it's important to understand the root cause and, find a way to heal that, which we help our clients with. So it's important to understand that unless and until you start valuing yourself, unless and until you see yourself worthy of that next position, no one else is going to see that. And when you feel worthy, that's when you can start having these conversations with leaders. That's when you can position yourself as, the best candidate for the next leadership opportunity that opens up. Number four, do not know how to command the room. Now, here's the thing, right? A lot of us tell ourselves, well, I'm an introvert, well, I'm a humble person, I don't like to brag about myself. But commanding the room has nothing to do with that. Some of the most amazing leaders are the worst introverts. Like they are the poster children of introversion. So we cannot give ourselves that excuse. If we are aspiring to become leaders, then we really have to question ourselves. Really, has introversion really has to do something with how you command the room? It is the lack of strategies. Again, positioning is so important. If you are in meetings and you have a great idea, and if you're not sharing that idea because of low self-worth, because of fear of speaking up, who will see you? You are not visible to others. And I say all of this because I have done this in my life. I have done these mistakes in my career, and now I really know how to really help my clients position themselves. That's why you feel a lot of energy when I'm doing these trainings, because I just, my heart goes out to these amazing professionals who have so much to offer, and yet they are hiding in the shadows. So it's important to, speak up and position yourself in any conversation. Like I say in almost all my trainings, meetings are the platform for you to showcase yourself. It's not about bragging. So let me give you an example. When I came to the US, and I was in my master's program, master's in health services administration, first day of school, and we were in this classroom. There were about 12 students. A lot of them were accomplished professionals. Some of them were undergrads, just completed their undergrad, and now they are in this program to do master's degree. So the professor asked us all to introduce ourselves, and my turn came, and I just said, um, I am Dr. Mrinalini Garg. I am a family physician, and I came here to pursue, and I continued, whatever I said, the purpose of why I started in this program. Next to me was an undergrad. He had just completed undergrad. So he must be in his, early 20s. He spent 5 minutes talking about himself. What did he talk about? He spent 2 months volunteering in a hospital. 2 months. I spent years of my life becoming a doctor, spent 4 years treating patients. He spent 2 months volunteering in a hospital in the housekeeping department. And not that I am, putting housekeeping down, because every aspect of a business is important. But this person, this guy went on for 5 minutes talking about how amazing his experience was and how he got excited about being in the healthcare industry and how much he learned and how much value he brings to the table and how he's a great addition to the program. It wasn't even a job interview, but he said that, and he said that with ease. He wasn't putting in a lot of effort to say that. That's because he has high self-worth, and any experience that he had was important for him. He was not showing off. But we feel, because we are brought up to be humble and have humility, we feel afraid to talk about ourselves. I had so many stories that I could have talked about, but I just said I'm a family physician, that's all. It does not show my personality, it does not show my interest in why I am in that program. It does not show, what do I want to achieve after I finish my master's degree. So when it comes to positioning, every meeting, like I said, is a platform for you to showcase. So here are some of the things that I tell my clients. If you're attending a meeting, if you are leading that meeting, make sure there's an agenda. Like, everything is purposefully laid out. That meeting is meaningful. When people come to your meeting, they know that this is the most productive meeting. We get done so much in that meeting. With that agenda itself, you are showing up as a leader. If you are a part of a meeting but you are not the leader, ask for an agenda. Ask for what active role you would be playing in that meeting. If that meeting is just for FYI, see if you can excuse yourself from that meeting. If you are doing a presentation, see if you could just attend for those 10 minutes and do your part and leave. Find an active role in the meeting so that when you're in that meeting, you are not sitting back and waiting for someone to ask you a question, because we are great, we speak up when we are spoken to, but when it comes to speaking up on our own, sharing our ideas, we shy away from that. So make meetings matter. Your voice is important. So as soon as you start realizing how your voice can have an impact and influence the trajectory of a product or a service in the company, you are going to feel like, yeah, I do add value. But if you are just a passive audience, a passive listener in meetings, it is not going to do anything to your self-worth. It is only going to bring you down, because if you are like me, how I used to be before, you're just gonna sit and look and observe people and secretly admire, oh wow, how great that person speaks. Oh, I wish I could speak like that. Oh yeah, I have an idea, but I'm so afraid to speak up. I don't want to be wrong. I don't have all the information. What if people judge me? That happens because we haven't carved out an active role in the meeting. We have also not learned, if somebody criticizes us, how do we step up and push back? If somebody shoots down our idea, how do we advocate for that idea? These are the strategies that can be learned. And I'm actually going to go to number 6 and I'll come back to number 5. But we also have this inferiority complex about our English. We think English is our second language and we are not as good as the native English speaking speakers, and that also holds us back from speaking up. But if your English is understandable, you don't have to go get an MA in English literature to speak up in meetings. And I say this with a lot of love because I have felt that. I also went to the Boston Language Institute when I was in Boston to improve my accent, to improve my English. And the teacher said, your English is fine. So it really is not about our English or accent. It's really about our confidence, our self-worth, and knowing the strategies to speak up and command the room. Then the last thing is we are afraid of networking. Now, again, we tell ourselves, well, I'm an introvert. Well, I am shy. I really can't network. I don't know what to talk to the leaders. Well, they are also human beings. In our mind, we put leaders we put them on the pedestal, right? So again, Respecting somebody is different from putting somebody on the pedestal, right? On the pedestal, we just like, we just admire them. Wow, they're so good. And we don't look at them as human beings. But they are human beings and they love to talk. So if you can connect with them at a human level, going in with curiosity, wow, how do you do this? You know, how do you influence, right? How did you decide this was the career you wanted to go for? What was your career trajectory like? I am so intrigued by how you started, you know, with a major in music to becoming a CFO. You can show interest in them and treat them as human beings, because guess what, most people when they go to the leaders, they are complaining, we don't have enough resources, well the new technology sucks, well we need more people, well you know there is this breakdown, there is that breakdown. Those are the things that most people go with to the leaders. But if you go in to connect with them, to really learn about them, but one thing that I will say here is that you have to be genuinely interested in them. If you are going there with the manipulation energy, well I'm going to connect with them and then they will promote me, it's not going to go well. So it is a very, you know, fine balance that you have to make there, which again we help our clients with, so that they build those amazing connections with them, make them seen, make them see how valuable you are to the company, how you are making an impact. Again, bringing those metrics in so that they can see, oh wow, you know, this is the impact that you're making. And don't rely on your boss to do that for you. Don't rely on your peers to do that for you. Nobody is going to do it for you. If you feel like I'm going to work hard and my work is going to speak for itself, it's not going to. Your work is only going to tell others that, yeah, you know, she's a workhorse or he's a workhorse, let me dump some more work on them. So it's important to build these connections, build these relationships. Introversion has nothing to do with it. And a lot of my clients, you know, they tell me they are introverted, and that's why we do role plays so that they feel comfortable going in there, having those conversations. We do those role plays multiple times, so when they are in the meetings with the leaders, it becomes really easy for them. I remember one of my clients, Shilpa, she went, you know, had a conversation with her department chair. In 10 minutes, he started showing her, hey, this is my Instagram page and this is my puppy. You're connecting with them on a personal level, and you're letting them know who you are as a person and what you're capable of and your accomplishments. That's when you become memorable. So if you are a South Asian professional and in your heart, deep in your heart, you are aspiring to get to that next level, but you're hesitant, remember these 6 things that I shared with you. And if you do need my help to get to that next level, I'm happy to talk with you. To reach out to me, you can go to www.unshackledcareerwoman.com/call. Find a time that works for the two of us. Just choose what works for you, and you know you will see my availability. Schedule that call. We will, you know, send you to a page where you can see how our clients have succeeded, what they are doing, and we'll get on a call and we will see if we are a good fit. But if you aspire to be a leader and you are amazing at what you do, then you shouldn't be staying stuck in the middle management box. Until next time.